Hi guys, and welcome to Paint with Mark. I thought this week we'd paint a nice simple yellow rose. But before we start, I've got something to say. 80% of all my subscribers are male. So come on ladies, subscribe, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button and push the bell icon, and then you'll be notified for every video that I do. So with that said, I'm going to use just a flat brush, a liner brush, a little liner brush, and I've got a little palette knife, mix up a little bit of colour, and I've used a template here. Hopefully you can see that, hopefully it's a bit brighter. I've used a template that I've downloaded from the internet, and I'll put a link down below where you can get this template from. And then basically I've just drawn it on my little canvas. I think this is a 12 by 8 canvas, pre-stretched, and what I've done is around the edge of the flower I've just used a little bit of medium. I've got some medium here, which is a little bit of linseed oil, or you can use liquid white if you wish, and I've just literally just give it a light coating around the outside of the flower because I just want to put a bit of background colour in there, just to add a bit of interest to it. Also, the colours that we're going to be using today, I've got titanium white, cadmium yellow, Van Dyke brown, blue, I've got alizarin crimson, another bit of alizarin crimson there, and which I've added this part here, I've added a little bit of yellow to the red to make an orange colour. And as I said, I've just got a little flat brush, a couple of flat brushes, and that's it. And let's get started, guys. So the first thing I'm going to do, I just want to put a bit of background colours around it. So I'm just going to use a little bit of blue, very small amount, going to a little bit of medium, a little bit of blue, so it's very, very thin. And I'm just going to do a little crisscross strokes around the edge here, just so it's very subtle. I don't want nothing too overpowering. I just do a bit down here, just random. I'm just going to pull out a little bit of random colour around here. I'm literally just scrubbing it on the canvas here, just here and there, just little clusters of colour, I'll call it. And it's going to be very diffused. Add a little bit here and here, perhaps a little bit in there. I'm just literally just touching the brush in areas, so bits of darker, bits of lighter, bit more medium, going to a little bit more medium. I might go into a little bit of yellow and a little bit of the blue, sort of like a little bit of light greeny colour. I'm just going to dust that in between. Not too worried if I go around the line of my rose. I'm just going to blend it in together, so sort of greeny blue colour. Mix it around, just scrubbing it into the canvas. And because I put the little bit of medium on the canvas first, it just makes it a little bit easier flow to spread the colour around. That's what I want. Okay, this is just a little bit of background colour interest really. You don't have to do this, but I just think it adds a little bit more when there's a little bit of colour in the background as opposed to just a plain canvas. You can get a little bit of, perhaps a little bit of red, just a little bit of red in there, a little bit more medium. When it goes a bit dry, we just a little bit of medium, just mix that in with the colours. I'm just changing flavours really, just changing the flavours, scrubbing it around. I don't want any sharp edges, lines, anything like that, I just scrub in a bit of this colour here and there. Down. Something like that. Do a bit more medium, a little bit yellow in it there, so it goes a bit greeny. And then all I'm going to do from there is I'm just going to get a little soft mop brush, very soft mop brush. I'm just going to do crisscross strokes over it, just spread the colour around a little bit, just so it all sort of mixes into one, diffuses into one. Little crisscross strokes, because our main eye is going to be on the actual rose itself. So there we are, so we've got a bit of colour done. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, we're going to actually fill it all in. So I'm going to clean brush. Here we are. I'm going to go into some medium, so tap into some medium, and then I'm going to go into the yellow colour, and I'm going to pull this down. I'm going to put it one way and the other way. So it's a nice chiselled edge. Now, not too much medium at this stage. Now, this is a dry canvas, so it might be a little bit harder to put it on, but we're just going to follow the lines and put it on. So I'm going to start around down here. Okay, and I'm just going to fill this in. Now, you will see a few of these lines, so you'll still see, even though you're painting over it, you're going to see a few of these guidelines, which would be a good thing to start with. So it gives you reference of where you're going to put your shadows and darks in. So I'm going back up to medium, and I'm just literally filling this in bit by bit, taking it right up to the lines that you've got, so you can even go over the actual line itself. I'm just sort of paying attention on the edge, really. That's all I want to do, just pay attention where the edges are. Come around here and up, and again I'm going to use my other colours to define the petals. Again, you can spend as much time as this as you want to. Obviously, the more time you spend, the better it will be, the more accurate. But again, at this stage, we're not too fussed if we go over the edges or not. We just want to get it's filled in. So I'm just going to fill it in. So I'm just sort of filling it in the sort of shape. I'm going round the shape to give me an idea in my head of where the petals and things are going to be later on. So it's just going to give me an idea. But lucky enough, you should be able to see your pencil line through on the canvas. Once you've done this, you should still be able to see very faintly. I suppose it depends how dark you've put your pencil line in, but most people will just use a normal HB pencil and just fill it in. So we're getting there, guys. I'm just hopefully you're following along with me, and if you do want a certain video or subject, please comment below, and you never know, I may well get round to painting, showing you a tutorial on a subject that you are interested in or want me to paint and show you how to paint it. I can't guarantee it because I'm still learning, guys, myself. I don't claim to be some fantastic painter. I'm just do these tutorials to help you, and hopefully some of the bits that I do you'll learn a few little tips on golden nuggets. And my main thing really is to give you inspiration, is to actually pick up the paintbrush and have a go yourself, because if you see how easy it is, you may well decide to have a go yourself, and that's my goal, is to help as many people as I can to take up painting, because it makes you forget about all the worries and problems we do have in the world. While you're painting, for me, it actually takes my mind into another place. It really does, and I really do love teaching this, and I love painting myself, and hopefully it comes across like that. I know my students who come to my classes, they really do love them. It gets them out of the house and they get to spend a day of painting and have a really good time. So for those of you who live in the UK and near Kent, Whitstable and Kent, England, pop along, join up to one of my classes. They are really busy and popular, but we can always usually squeeze someone in. But we don't have very big classes because I like to get round one-to-one individually, showing you how it all works and how to do it. So hence first come first served. So that's the reason some of these videos I'm doing on YouTube is because not everyone can get to my classes, but people still want to learn to paint, and usually there's a lot of courses you can buy that charge lots of money, and I don't want to do that. I want to provide you tuition for free, and that way you can't expect too much from me. So we're just filling in. As I said, I'm just filling in this, guys, and go around my lines and going over my lines. It doesn't really matter too much. Just want to get this colour on there. Go, nearly there. Wow, again, once you've got it filled in, you can just go over the whole lot with some more paint, as long as you can see your lines. I'm just going to run a bit more paint over this, just so it stands out a bit more. It's drying quite quick. I do want to make sure that the whole thing is really covered. Any hairs will pick off. So now you can see that, hopefully in the video, that the whole outline is completely filled in. Okay, so now I'm just going to get a little bit of tissue, and I'm just going to squeeze my flat brush. This is a 1-inch brush. I will put all the descriptions and brushes I use down below as always, and the colours that I'm using. And I'm going to go into a little bit of the orange colour. Now I made that by getting 3 parts yellow on 1 part red and mix it all together. I'm going to go into my medium, what I've got on my little plate. I'm going to pull it through there first, and then I'm going to go into this orange colour. I'm going to pull it down while my yellow is nice. So this is a nice sort of chiselled edge. And what I'm going to do is, if this is the outside of the petal here, where the line is for the next petal on the inside, I'm just going to do the lines. So it is a nice sharp chiselled edge. I'm just going to touch, and I'm going to actually follow around the edge of this line here. Okay, I'm going to go back into my colour, and I'm going to follow that round this way. Once I've got this on the brush, okay, I'm just going to touch and flick outwards. So I'm going to touch, flick this slightly out from that point there. So the point I touched, I'm literally just going to flick downwards. Just a little bit. So that just adds a little bit of colour on the inside there. Hair there, get that off. Okay, so I'm going to go back a little bit of a medium, go back into the orange. Okay, I'm going to do the same all the way around here. So again, thing right is around here, and I'm just going to flick out. around the side of this bit, and I'm going to flick out here, around the side of this one, flick down partly. Try and follow the shape of the petal. The petal would be coming out like that, so try and follow, do the brush stroke the same way. Go back into my orange again, and I'm just going to carry on. I'm going to move up the layers. So from here, just going to do a line, and then I'm just going to flick down just a little part, like so. Just let the colour blend out slightly, so it just fades out slightly, which defines the different petals, as you will see as we move on. So back into a little bit of medium, sharp chiseled edge, where your line is. I'm going to follow this line, and I'm just going to flick out. Now the petal runs this way, so I'm just going to flick it this way, just a small amount, just using the very corner of the brush. It's down, it's out, this line here, flicks out. Again, we're going to put more colours and things on this yet. We just want to start getting a little bit of colour in there. So a little bit of medium, a little bit of colour, and then I'm going to move up. So now I'm going to move up to the next part of the line. So wherever there's a line, we put the line in, and I'm going to put the line in here. So you can see I'm just basically doing the lines. I'll do a couple more lines so you can see what I'm doing, you understand, hopefully. I'll do this one, there's a line here. Come around to there. I'll put a few of these lines in first, and then hopefully you'll understand what I'm doing. Just using the very tip of the brush. The outline. You make it to a nice sharp chiseled edge. It's like a line. So just line there. I've got another line here. I'm just using the very tip of the brush, holding it at an angle for these. Again, doesn't matter if your hand's a bit shaky, because the petals aren't 100%. They're going to be shaky as well. You know, not going to be perfectly straight. So don't panic. So again, I'm going to do a line around here, and we've got a line, little line there, line here, like so, little one there, little one there, little one there. So we've just done a few lines, so you can see, but don't do these outside edges, it's just the inside petals that we're doing. So once we've got our lines, like I said, make sure we've got a little bit of a medium on there. We're just going to flick down and out and away just a little bit. Where it's small amounts, I'm just going to flick this down, which is going to create the shadows and the darks between the petals that we want. Fades out this way. This comes down here. Okay, wherever there's a line, it's going to flick out from that line. Okay. Here. Just looking at. So hopefully you can start seeing now the petal formation and shapes just by putting in these lines. Down. Okay, we've got the lines. I'm just pulling this down just to give it the shape, defining parts of this rose. Put a little line in there. Okay, so that's the first part done. I think that's nice. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so we've done our filling in with the yellow, and then we've used the orange to do lines not on the outside but all the inside lines, gone round them, and we just pulled down and flicked out to the edges. Now I'm going to wipe my brush again. Like that. I'm going to go back into some medium. I'm going to come up to the orange, and I'm just going to grab a little bit of the red and put that with it. Okay, so it's a sort of a pinky, and I'm just going to go under this line here, and I'm going to pull out with that on this side. Now this is one big petal here, so I'm just going to follow this around. Okay, don't pull it out don't pull it down too far, but I just want to get it so it distinguishes it. There's another bit, and I'm going to go into some more of these. I haven't put any more colour on my brush. I'm just pulling out a little part over the same places we did before. I'm just touching in the middle, pulling down just a touch. It's just going to add another colour in there on top of our orangey, more of a reddy colour. Now as I come inside here, what I'm going to do is, she needs a bit of colour there, so I'm just going to define that. Just going to pull this down. So as I come into here, into this bud part, I'm actually going to fill in this part here and this part here. So I'm going to follow this shape, but I'm actually going to fill in these petals and also the back petal as well. So I'm going to touch this. I'm just going to fill this one in there, and I'm going to leave this little part here, as you've got the line here, very lightly just dust a bit of colour in there, because that is where the middle part is to come out. At the top, this one here, I'm just going to pull, okay, up from this line, from these lines again, pull them up and out. Same with there, pull up and out. Follow the shape of your petals, like so. Hopefully you can see that in the video. Okay, so we're getting on there now. Same here, this line here should have some colour, so I'm just going to do that one because I missed that one for some reason. Okay, you can keep going over this as many times as you want to. You have more time than me. I'm just sort of doing this for demo for you. So we've got the sort of basic shape now, this nice rose. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go into a little bit of a medium, and then I'm just going to squeeze this, and now I'm going to go back into